everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going fantastic. Thanks so much for joining me. Well, we're making a card today using a 3D flower. It's so pretty. It's called the Tassel Flower and Ladybugs die set. It's a 7-piece die set, and it creates a 3D tassel flower. And so I thought we would create this on our card today. And then we're using a background from the same collection. This collection is designed by Susan Tierney, and it's called Serenity Garden. It's really pretty. Susan Tierney has some amazing flower tutorials with all of her flower dies, and I'll link in the description area if you want to check out that video, because I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm not going to show you the right way to create with this. I'm just going to show you the way that I'm going to use it on my card today, but it's not the right way. I just want to let you guys know that. I'm going to take away a little bit of the 3D-ness to these so they'll fit on a card. I'm also going to be using the Ode to a Poet embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder. It has all these little images in there. I think that will make a great background. Okay, we're going to start by doing some die cutting. Oh, and for my greeting, I'm using an older Stampin' Die set designed by Lisa Horton. This is called Sending Smiles, and we'll be using the greeting in here, okay? So let's start by doing our die cutting. And the nice thing about these dies is if you want to create it the way it's intended, there's numbers on here. This one says 4 times, so you would die cut this out 4 times to create the flower. Okay, I'm bringing in 2 colors of cardstock, and believe it or not, these are from Paper Tray ink. Okay, they're a little bit subdued and more toned down. This is Sweet Blush, and this is Spring Moss. This is more like an avocado-y color, and this is more like maybe more of a rosy pink. Okay, and I thought it'd be really pretty to make a flower with this. I'm also bringing in some Dahlia. This is Spellbinders Dahlia. These two actually pair very well together. I'm going to create some flower centers with this. The leaves, we're gonna die cut out 2 of the stems, and I'm going to die cut out. There's 2 leaves in here. I'm going to die cut out about 5 leaves. Okay. And then with the flowers, again, I'm not following the instructions. I'm just going to die cut out 2 of each of these. So we'll have 6 in total to create my card. And then we have this little piece is the flower center. I'll cut out 3 of these. Now, I said I was going to cut out 2 of each, but I did a little bit more. I did the 2 of the largest, 3 of the middle size, and then 3 of the smaller ones. I want 3 flowers in total. We're going to do a little ink blending. I'm bringing in my Kale ink, and we're going to add some color to our leaves and our stem. I'm also going to add ink to our flowers. Okay, I'm going to add ink to the front and the back of these. And I picked my Simon Says Stamps rhubarb, and because rhubarb matches Dahlia pretty closely. So I'm just going to pick up a little ink here, and then we're going to add it to the center like this. And then I'm going to flip them over, and I'm going to do the same thing to the reverse side. Because when I curl these up, I'm not sure what side's going to show or not. So we're just going to do both. Now, after I have this done, we're going to bring in, let me bring in my smaller scissors. Okay, after we have this done, what we're going to do is each of these petals, we're going to cut in half. You see the V? You're going to cut right inside the V line. Make sure you don't hit that circle in the middle. But we're just going to do this to all of our flower petals. Let me show you what it looks like. And this is going to give us a lot of dimension. You see what that looks like now? This is what it did look like, and then this is what it looks like, what it's supposed to, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing to all of these, and I'm also going to do the same thing to this little piece. We're just going to cut the comb pieces in half. This is going to give us extra dimension here too. Okay, so There's those pieces. Now that that's all done, I'm going to bring in a foam mat. Okay, and then I'm also going to bring in my stylus. Spellbinders actually has a kit that is specifically for the Susan Tierney-Cockburn's florals. Okay, and I'll link it down below if they still have it. But I'm going to use the stylus that came in the kit. If you, I think Ulta New styluses will work with this also. Okay, I'm going to put my flower on this foam mat. It's just like a thick foam mat. And then all I'm going to do is press each of these and kind of twirl it. What this does is it just cups them. Okay, I'll do that to all of my blooms. There we go. We got a whole, now they look a little bit different. Now I'm also going to cup my stem. Okay, I have 2 stems. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip off the bud portion here, and I'm going to snip off this section. Okay, I'm going to keep the bottom. We're going to elongate our stem, so I'm going to get rid of this piece here where it kind of forks into 3. And then with these, what I'm going to do is flip it on the reverse side, and I'm just going to add a little bit of, using my stylus, I'm going to cup this a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to flip them right side up on my mat. Okay, so the debossed area is, so you can see the debossed area, and then I'm going to cup these just a little bit. I'm basically just breaking the fibers of the papers, okay? And along the bottom edge in the stem, I'm going to add some glue. Not in the middle, just along the edge, on the sides. And then I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to layer them over. And then I'll go ahead and let that glue dry. In the meantime, we can build our flowers. I'm going to take this center piece. It looks like a comb. Okay, I'm going to use my reverse tweezers. I'm going to add it to the end here. Okay, flip it around. I'm going to add glue at the very base. And then all I'm going to do is roll it on my finger. Just roll, 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 roll. Okay, and I'll pinch it at the end and remove it from my tweezers. Kind of fluff it out a little bit. Okay, that's one. I'll do the same thing to these other 2. Okay, now what we're going to do is take one of the largest, one of the middle sizes. We're going to add some glue at the base. We're going to tuck that in here. We'll take a small one, and then I'll add glue at the base, and we'll tuck that in here. Okay, and then I'll take the flower center, add some glue in here, and then we can just add this flower center in here. Now, I want this to be really compact. Now what I'm going to do is just take this and I'm going to squeeze it in half, basically squeeze it in half, and then I'll push in these sides like this. Let that glue grab, and then I can fluff out the petals like so. Okay, and this is what it looks like. So it looks like this, flat on the front, kind of coned on the end. And I'll do the same thing to this next flower, and then those will be my flowers. Now we're going back to the stem. Okay, we're going to take the craft pick and we're going to open this up a little bit. You see how we're opening it like a little pocket, like a flower bed? I'll do the same thing here. Now what we can do is add some glue on the inside, and then we can attach our flowers, just kind of sticking them in there fluffing up those petals. I have a little glue oozing out on the end. That's okay. Like that. Okay, you may have to hold it a minute, and then we can add a little glue in this one. We can add our flower bud. Now while that's drying, I'll put this to the side. I'm going to bring back my mat, and I'm going to curl my leaves too. Okay, we're going to break the fibers of the leaves. I just like to go over them. It crinkles the paper. And I know that Spellbinders has some specialty cardstock that does this even better. And I'll link it down below. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to put foam tape behind here. I have some small foam squares. We're going to go ahead and put foam squares behind here. Now my flower is all done. I'm going to put this to the side. Okay, and in the meantime, we're going to work on our background. We're going to bring in our embossing folder. And I'm going to use craft cardstock for my card today. So I trimmed down a panel. This measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm going to place it in here. I'm going to place it kind of wonky because I want my picture frames to be wonky. So I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. Okay. This is what it looks like, really pretty. And then I'm going to go over this with some white ink. I'm using my Simon Says Stamp white pigment ink, and I'm just going to go over this. I think this looks really pretty on craft. Wonderful. Now I went ahead and took another panel and layered it on my card base. Okay, kind of stretching it. I'm going to take this piece, and we're going to use our tape runner and adhere it to the front of our card base. Now I'm going to do my greeting. So that's where our Sending Smiles comes in. This is a stamp and cutting die set, and the stamp set is one piece, and it will cut out all of these greetings with this die. Okay, so you would stamp and do that. Now I already have a whole bunch that I had cut out already. Okay, so I'm going to use the greeting in here that says tons of love. And then I also die cut out Sending with white cardstock. And then both the shadows, there's 2 shadows in here. I die cut out both of these with my craft cardstock. Okay, we're going to layer our shadows together. And then I'll go ahead and add my Sending. Okay, that's part of my greeting. I am going to add some larger foam squares behind here. So this is ready to go. And then I'm going to put foam tape behind my tons of love also. Okay, let's layer our flower here. I'm going to layer it at an angle on this middle postcard. Okay, we'll tack these down, and then I'm going to fluff the petals a little forward. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is take my greeting, and I'm going to add it here at the bottom. I'm not going to press down all the way because I'm going to take this extra stem that we kept. I'll put some glue behind here, and I'm going to just extend my stem on down the page. You see how I did that? Okay, and then we can press our greeting. I'll go ahead and add the rest of my sentiment here. Lovely. And then to fill it in, wait until you see what the leaves do. The leaves just add the magic too. For finishing touches, I have some of my Lawn Fawn Dusty Rose Hemp Twine. I had just picked this one up. I thought it'd be really pretty. Let's go ahead and take that off. I thought this one would go really pretty here. Okay, what we're going to do is just add this to the very top of our card base. I think I'm going to keep the tails of the bow a little bit on the longer side. I think it just kind of gives it more of an organic look. I think that looks really pretty. And then I'm also going to bring in some of my white opal liquid pearls. And I'm going to add a few pearls in the background. Okay, and I think to mail this, I would just put a cardstock piece right over the top, and it's not going to flatten because you have all of those layers, which is really nice. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.